Hello, welcome back to a sweltering day here in just south of London and to a new edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm hoping that the extraordinary temperature isn't going to frazzle my brain. Now on screen you can see the most extraordinary puzzle that we've got sent over the last couple of days. This comes courtesy of Kyle Corbin, who is a very, very fine solver of Sudoku puzzles, and it turns out he also must like to set them as well. And obviously what we love about this is that we feature in the puzzle. I've featured in a Sudoku puzzle before. I'm not planning to use pencil marks to solve this one because I think that would be overloading on me and Mark, but yeah, quite extraordinary. Let's have a look at the instruction. We need to help Simon get cracking by placing one of Mark's icons in each cell so that each icon appears once in each row, column and bold 3x3 box. Then replace each icon with the corresponding letter to form a word search puzzle in which Simon will find several not so cryptic words. Okay. So you can see Mark's icons are labelled here as just the pictures. And I suspect something's going on with the initial letters because, well, a rabbit would be an R, that could be a K for a king, C, octopus, O, don't know what they are, tax or nails or something. But anyway, yeah, clearly this is a Sudoku puzzle, so what I'm going to have to do is to put it into our software to solve it. I'm going to transpose the pictures into numbers to do that. Quick couple of points before I do that. Carl sent two versions of this puzzle. Mark has tried both of them. He found both of them very hard, but this one he thought was would make a better video. I'm not sure why. I don't like to ask him because I like to make the solves as live as possible. So we're going to do this one. I will also put a link in the description though to the other one. So, you know, if you want to, you can solve both of them. If there's anything interesting about the one that isn't featured in the video, do let us know by email or in the comments. What else do I need to say? Yeah, obviously just if you want to solve the puzzle, you can do so by clicking the links underneath. Right, let's go and find those. Okay, so here we are. All I've done is replace the pictures consistently with digits. So I was number 7, Mark was number 9. Not that I suspect that's going to matter. But right, let's have a go at the Sudoku. So one thing I should say as well is I think this version is the easier of the two versions, according to Mark. So, but as I say, he said that both of them were very hard. So I don't think we should take that to mean that this is going to be a walk in the park. 1s can go into either of these two squares. 7's over on that left-hand side. As you can see, I'm very much not one of these people who goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. I go where my sort of eyes take me. Okay, yeah, we've got something here. If we look at the empty squares in row 9, we have a hidden single, because we need to put a 6 somewhere along this row. And look, there's a 6 here and a 6 here. So in fact, there's only one square that can be a 6 in row 9. This is called a hidden single because you can't work out that this square is a 6 just by looking at the square itself. If you look at this square, what are the options for the 1, 8 and 9? It could be, not 1, 8 and 9, 1, 6 and 8. So looking at the square itself, 6 and 8 look possible. It's only when we look at the whole row that we are able to figure out that actually it can only be a 6. So that's got to be a 1 or an 8, and that's going to be a 1 or an 8. Wow. Right, falls into one of those two squares. Let's check this column as well because there's a lot of, we've got 6 digits in that column as well, 2, 5 and 9. 9 here. So the 9's in one of those two squares. I'm going to try and remember that. I don't have a very good way of pencil marking it. And the 2 is in one of those two squares. And 2s can be pencil marked into these two positions and these two positions. 7s into one of those two squares. 4s into one of these two positions because of the 4 here and the 4 here. And that gives us a 4 into this square. So the combination of the 4 being in one of these two squares, this square, and this 4 here, they all operate on this box. And they limit just one square now can be a 4. Let's put that in. Got 6 digits now in row 6. I still need 5, 6, and 7. Okay, we've got another hidden single. So now, where can we put a 5 in the highlighted row? We have a 5 here and here. So actually, a 5 can only go there. Now, the moment I put the 5 in here, lots of things are going to happen. I'm taking the place of one of the pencil marked 7s. So that must be the 7, and this must be the 2. Obviously, this square here now can only be a 1. And all we've got to do now is make sure that we fully pencil mark off the back of all of that new information. So 5s into one of these two squares. 7s I don't think we can do anything with. This must be a 2 because of 2, 2, 2 and 2. So that's a 2 there. The open positions here are 5 and 9 into these two squares. Is there anything we can do to... Well, if there is, I can't. I'm not seeing it. No, I'm not sure how to resolve that yet. These two squares must be 6 and 7 to complete the row. 6, 7. 7s, 2s. This square here must be a 3. Again, that's just normal Sudoku. Look, those 3 squares. This 4, 5 now become interesting. Let's have a look at how this 4 and 5 impact on the box over here. Where can the numbers 4 and 5 go in this box? Well, they have to go in these two squares. And that resolves that this one is in fact therefore a 5. Oops, and that must be a 4. Therefore there's a 5 in one of the... Oh dear, I didn't mean to do that. I think 5 in one of these two squares. This is now a 9, obviously. 9 in one of those 3 squares. I don't want to pencil mark 3s though. This 4 here sees that 4. So this is the 4 in the bottom left 3 by 3 box. These two squares must be 8 and 9, which is resolvable. That must be 9 and 8 in that order. These two squares must be 1 and 8, and there's a 1 here. So this is a 1, this is an 8, this is an 8. And actually, it feels like we've made a really good start on this. This must be 5 and 6, I think. Pencil mark that both ways. 5 and 6, 6 and 7. This is also 6 and 7 at the top, look. Which means there's a 6-7 pair now in column 6. Let's check this. So effectively we've got 5 digits now in column 6. So the numbers we're missing are 2, 3, 8 and 9. So, well, that square, what can that square be? This square can't be a 2, a 3 or an 8. So this square can only be a 9. Which means that one of those two positions is a 9. So let's check the rest of this now. So now we need 2, 3 and 8 into these positions. So 3 here. Got another hidden single. This is an amazing number of hidden singles. Where can a 2 now go in the highlighted squares? Well, there's a 2 here and a 2 here, so that one's going to be a 2. And that took the place of an 8, so we get to place the 8 there. That means this is an 8. It means that, that means this is an 8. And that means this is an 8. So we've done the 8s now. Every box has an 8. This square here must be a 3. we've got everything else in the box, or in the column, sorry. 3s. One of these two must be 3, 6, 7, 1. Let's check this row because we've got a lot of digits in it now. So we need a 1, 4 and 9. So this square is a 4 or a 9, this square is a 1 or a 4, and this square is a 1 or a 9, but still 3 pairs. Pairs are always useful later on in a puzzle. 179, 179. Check these two squares, I guess. So along this row, 1, 3, 7 and 9 missing, so this square, that's not that great, is it? That's... no, neither of them. Well, this square, I suppose, that can only be a 1 or a 3, I think. Because we've got 7s here and a 9 here, so that is a double. Let's check this row now, where we need 4, 5, 6 and 9. 4, 5, 6 and 9. So this square can only be 4 or 5 because it sees a 6 and a 9. This square can be 4, 5 or 6, I think. 5 or 6. Ah, that's better. Look, this can only be 5 or 9. And that's given me something. This square being 5 or 9 was important. See if you can see why. Well, I just pencil mark this one, 6 or 9 here. Right, let's come back to this. So this gives us the opportunity to use a bent triple. So if I highlight 3 squares here, let's highlight that one, and that one. You can see that we've got the numbers 4, 5 and 9 bending round at a right angle here. So this is called, technically this is called a Y-wing, but the way I spot Y-wings is not by thinking of Y-wings, it's by looking for bent triples, because that seems much easier to me. And we can therefore view this square as it's called a pivot. And a pivot is a complicated way of saying, let's pick either option here and see what the effect is. And if this square is a 4, you can see this square would have to be a 9. If, on the other hand, this square is a 5, this square here has to be a 9. So we know there is either a 9 here or there is a 9 here in the finished solution. Now, what does that mean? That means that any square in this grid that sees this square and this square cannot contain a 9. Look, this square certainly sees these two squares. So this is not a 9, this must be a 1. And maybe that's the trick that we need to finish the puzzle. You can see immediately that's, I need to do that, that's giving me some extra digits. 1, 3 here, that's 3, that's 1. That means this is 3 down at the bottom. These two squares must be 5 and 7. Oh, I thought that might resolve that, but it doesn't. It gives us a 5, 7 pair at the bottom. This square must be therefore 5 or 7 as well. Okay, let's put that in. This square can't be 4 anymore. Surely we've got something going on in this central section now. Wow! This 1, what does this 1 mean? It means we can pencil mark 1s at the bottom right. This must be a 7, 9 pair now. Ooh, hang on. Okay, right, so seeing this was a 7, 9, again, my tip is look for a bent triple. Have a stare at the grid if you're not used to Y-wings. See if you can see a bent triple and see if you can then appreciate what it might mean. Now, if we look here, here and here, we have a bent triple on the numbers 6, 7 and 9. Again, we look at the central square to determine the option. So if this is a 6, this square will be a 7. If this is a 9, this square will be a 7. So there's either a 7 in this square or this square in the finished solution. Now this square here sees both of those squares, so it can't possibly be a 7. This is a 9. And that's probably the trick we need to finish the puzzle. I say that, but I was expecting to get rather more out of that. 1 second. So let's go down here now. We need 1, 6 and 7. So this square is a 1 or a 7. This square is 1, 6 or 7. Oh, okay. Maybe this square is more restricted. 1, 2, 5, 7. Yeah, this square is a 1 or a 2. Can we do anything with that? Oh, sorry about this. I'm sure I must be missing something here. Let's look at this column. 2, 5, 7 and 9. So this is 2, 5 or 7. There's no... I don't think we can do better than that there. 2, 5, 7. This square does see a 2 and a 5. So this square is only a 7 or a 9. Good lord. Okay, well, I'm not sure if Carl has designed this puzzle to include hidden singles and Y-wings, but I think this is a third Y-wing, a third bent triple. So have a look at the grid now, getting this 7 and 9, and see if you can see another bent triple. And this time, it's this square and this square, 5, 7 and 9. Look at that. So if this is a 7, this becomes a 5. If this is a 9, this becomes a 5. So this square, which sees both of the highlighted squares, cannot possibly be a 5. This is a 6. There was probably a quicker way of doing that, but my goodness, that's challenging. 5, 7, 5 now. Okay, so now I think we are on the home straight. We've got a lot more digits in the grid all of a sudden. So 1, 2, 7 along here. This 5 now gives us these digits down here. 5, 6, must be a 6 here now. This must be a 1. 2, 7, 1. This hopefully will be 7, 9, and if I haven't made a mistake, this should be a 2. That looks like it's working. Yes, it is. Right, so now I need to transcribe this into my word search. So 1 second. Okay, so here we go. I've got some crossword software up now to try and put some letters into a grid. Now, I need to somehow decide what these characters are. So this is definitely a rabbit, isn't it? So that's clearly a rabbit. That's almost certainly a king. And then this one must be... I'm going to go with cat, octopus. I'm not sure about that one. That looks like a stalactite. But S is probably Simon, isn't it? So that would mean that was Simon. So I don't want to put... Unless there's 2 S's. Let me just... now 9 was Mark. That must be M. So that looks like this is an A. So 8 is an apple, that's A. So that looks good, doesn't it? Mark. And then I'd have 7 here. That's, if that's me, that's S. I wonder if this is going to be Mark Simon, in which case my cat guess might be wrong. That could be a Moggy or something. And that would make the... Oh, I suppose it could be an icicle. And then if that was Simon, that would be... Those would be nails, not tacks. How is this Moggy? Oh, Mark's icon. Hang on a minute. That was in the preamble. Yes, look. In fact, help Simon get cracking by placing one of Mark's icons in each. Is this Mark? Are these Mark's icons? So maybe that is cat then. Right, hang on, let's go with cat and keep going with the word search that way. So that must be an O, I think, and 5 would be N. 318, so that's going to be cat. 1, 8 was an apple. 9 was Mark. 6 was going to be the icicle again, and 7 was me. Concremis. Maybe I've made a mistake. Let's go carry on. 3 is going to be cat again. 6 is the icicle. 9 is Mark. 4 is going to be the octopus. Nails. The K is the king. Oh, there's me, Simon. Okay, so maybe this is right. And then the rabbit and the 8 is the apple again. Right, I'm going to carry on this. I'll pause it while I do this. Okay, so here's what I think is the final word search grid, and you can see there's all sorts of things here. There's Mark's icon going across the top. There's Simon here, Mark again here, and then Simon in the bottom row. But if we read the preamble, help Simon get cracking by placing one of Mark's icons in each row, column and box. And if you have a look carefully here, Simon can get cracking by having a look at this diagonal. And up that leading diagonal there, if I highlight it with, how do I do this? Appearance, highlight cell, green. Is that going to work? Okay, there we go. So Simon has got cracking. Wonderful puzzle from Kyle, absolutely brilliant, and you know, the imagination to send this sort of thing in, I absolutely love it. So thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Look forward to the comments in chat, and we'll be back soon with another edition. Cracking the Cryptic.